Hey angels, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that amazing stuff. Happy birthday to all the Capricorns. I hope you guys had an amazing holiday, whichever way you chose to spend it. I love you guys. I miss you guys. I hope that everything is going well for everyone. You're putting you first, you're taking care of self. You're taking everything one step at a time, every day one step at a time, and loving on who loves you. I'm coming to you guys with this short video because I have some news. So on the evening of December 27th, Pac-Man passed away. Um, he had kidney failure. He had kidney failure. It was very much so sudden. Um, Sudden that we noticed. Um, just little by little, and then like the last week, he was really bad. And it was Christmas week, and so vets are closed, everybody's closed, and finally on that Tuesday, I was able to get some places on the phone, and everyone I called was very much so busy and backed up, regardless of the symptoms that I told them that he was displaying, and so they all basically referred me to the same place for emergencies. And so I took him there. Um, Took him there under the assumption that he would be checked out. We would be given some medicine or just giving some type of advice, and we would go home. And that's not the way it happened. Um, so let me just tell you his symptoms. So I would say his energy levels seem to be going down a little. I mean, you know, of course, Pac-Man was over 10 years old. I'm sorry, 9 years old, over 9 years old. And so, he's uh, just being Pac-Man, but I'll say 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks, I had saw a formula of food, the brand of food that he ate. I saw a skin and coat formula. And so I got that one thinking that, oh, this will help with his shedding because he had seemed to be shedding a lot. He also had a smell. Um, and so I just didn't know if it was like his skin or whatever. So it wasn't too bad. It was like, but it was just like a smell. I just smelled him, okay? And so, I'm just thinking maybe he just need a bath, like whatever, he just needs to be cleaned up, groomed up, whatever. And so I bought that food. He wasn't really messing with it too much. He ate a little bit of it, but he threw up. So he threw up, and then so I'm like, oh, he don't like that. So then I still was trying to just let him kind of get used to it a little bit for like that next day, and he really wasn't messing with it. So then my mom, she had like brought some other kind of food home, and it was like a wet formula. He's never eaten wet food, um, wet dog food. So anyway, he ate that, and it just turned into everything that he ate. He threw up. Table food, dog food, whatever. So I'm like, oh my god, I just need to get his regular. Let me just get, his regular formula food, whatever. Let me just go back to doing that, and then everything should be fine. So I did that, and no, he was still throwing up. table food, throw up. So he was just not keeping anything down to the point where Christmas pretty much was the last day that he really ate. And he would still drink a little bit, but by the time the the day after Christmas, he didn't eat. I don't think he ate anything. Um, and then Tuesday. So Tuesday, I had to go to work because I had a meeting. I had a faculty meeting, and so went there. I'm like, so I'm gonna go to my meeting, and then I'm gonna get on the phone and see what I can do. So ended up making the phone calls. Got a place that said he can come. So I left work, took him because by this morning, and then his weight was just dropping, of course, so because he's throwing up everything. So his weight was dropping, dropping, and then he had this smell. And at first, I thought it was just changing of the food and everything, like that was the smell. But then it was like, by the time those last couple days, his weight was just gone. You could see his ribs pretty much, and backbone, everything by that last day. So anyway, took him to the vet, and they ended up having an emergency surgery. So they told me it would be like a 2 or 3 hour wait. So then I brought him back home. I said, okay. So they just said, call back in a couple hours, and you should be able to come right back. So I'm like, okay. So we came home. Now he got up in the car. He sat up in the seat and everything. Um, he was still Pac-Man. I mean, for the most part, he, just here at home, he didn't do anything. He would go outside a couple times a day to use the bathroom, and other than that, he would just stay on the couch. He didn't get up. He didn't see anybody, talk to anybody, like greet anybody. He barely barked if anybody was on the porch. Even with that, like you could just tell that was going down because, he damn near want to jump out the window if somebody comes on the porch, and he wasn't doing that too much anymore. So he was just very calm, very sick, just no energy, just laying down pretty much. I would sit with him, talk to him. He wagging his tail and stuff a little bit. And, but just chilling. So anyway, we came home. He had some treats. I gave him like 3 treats. The 3 treats that was in the bag, he ate them. Um, he got on the couch. And then we waited those couple hours. I took him back. Well, actually, my son ended up coming, so he took him. And then I followed behind him. And so when my son was there, they had took his vitals. They said his vitals were good. And I'm like, well, I know his vitals are good because he still wags his tail. He still will, sit with you, and, he's still alert. Um, but he's not he won't keep any food down. His feces, his poop ended up being black towards the end. Um, so anyway, so they were just basically waiting. So by the time I got there, my son left. The doctor ended up coming in. He took him out, came back. He said, and that was another thing, Pac-Man was okay in the vet. He didn't try to go after any animal. He had no problem with them taking him, walking him away from me on the leash, and he went with them okay, came back okay, it was fine. Um, anyway, he came back. He said he had kidney failure. He said the smell was the main thing that told it, outside of his symptoms, his weight, just everything. But the smell is, and the symptoms, his eating and bathroom and everything. Said he had kidney failure. They could have done labs, and that would basically just confirm the kidney failure. But it could tell us if something else was going on top of that. He said the best thing would be to go ahead and put him down at the point that he was already at, because he already was to the point where he wasn't eating, or and what he did eat, he couldn't hold it down. So at this point, he would just be starving to death pretty much, and his body would just be shutting down. That's what was happening. His body was just shutting down. Or I could have just went ahead and let them give him some injections of some medicine for nausea to kind of help him to not throw up, maybe hold some food down, and just stretch it out a little bit longer. And but outside of that, it would have just been waiting on him to go pretty much. And they explained the process to me of how it would go. Um, they said they would give him an anesthesia medicine so he wouldn't feel anything. And it would take about 5 seconds for it to take effect. And then once they did that, he would inject the other medicine, and it would be, no more than 30 seconds. So I called everybody. I lost it, totally lost it. I talked to him for a little bit. His eyes was leaking by that day. His eyes was leaking like green stuff, and his nose was all crusty. And but but he still, at first he wouldn't talk to me. He was like facing the other door, and he wouldn't even come to me when I was talking to him. And then he finally turned around and wagged his tail and laid his face on my lap. And so I talked to the nurse. And so yeah, so they advised me to stay with him because I didn't want to at first. And but I did. I stayed there with him. And he likes the soft blankets here at home. Like if you lay a blanket on the couch, on the floor, on the bed, wherever you lay a blanket, I swear to goodness, he is gonna get on the blanket. He's gonna make it his spot, right? So they laid a blanket on the floor, and tapping the blanket. And he went over to the blanket, but he wouldn't sit down, he wouldn't lay down, he wouldn't get comfortable. And I'm talking to him like, what do you want to do? I'm like, are you okay? I told him, I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I'm so sorry. I don't know how this happened. He was just fine. He's Pac-Man. But yeah. So it went really fast. He told him I loved him once he gave him the anesthesia, and it was very, very quick. So he is gone. Um, so I apologize, you guys. I didn't come on here for my birthday. I didn't. I kind of was in a chat here or there, but he was sick, and I was working, and you know, It was just, I didn't even mean for this to be this long. I'm so sorry. So yeah. Um, Outside of that, I found out just yesterday, my daughter that I gave up for adoption, her dad was killed. Well, he died New Year's Eve in a car crash in Atlanta, and so that happened. So I mean, that's not. I don't know. I just love my Bubba's, and I'm so sorry that he's not here anymore. And it's been hard because I don't even want to be in my house. And so, I got a second job just to have some stuff to do, and yeah. So that's what's been going on with me, you guys. So, um, it's a process. It's a process. I just loved him. I don't want another animal. I'm not getting another dog or getting another animal. I don't want one. Um, my son has a dog, and when they bring him by, I'll see him, but they made me a little paw print, and I got his nose print, and they were nice. They sent me a card afterwards, and so that was nice of them. But I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know. And sorry it took me so long for letting you guys know, but I was trying to do it when, I kind of felt a little better, and it doesn't seem like I feel any better. So now that I'm talking about it, but I just still have flashbacks. Sometimes I wonder if I made the right decision. But the doctor said I made the right decision. So I feel good about that, because if there was any doubt, then I would have just brought him home. I just didn't want to bring him home and then have to take him, you know, I don't know. Maybe I should have brought him home and just let him. But he was so little, you guys. He lost all his weight. He wasn't eating, and it was just like he was so hungry, and I just didn't want him to suffer. And he wasn't comfortable, and he wasn't himself, and I just didn't want him to continue to suffer. And it's like he was just laying there asleep, and he was just asleep. I just miss him. I just miss him. He used to get on my nerves so bad. I was be telling him, "Go, Pac-Man, go." And every time you hear me talk, now he's not here. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go, but I'll be on to see you guys soon. I hope you guys just all take care. Okay, have a good night.